Thanks so much for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Ephraim Graham. The nation of Pakistan is mourning after Taliban gunmen killed 132 children and 10 adults at a military-run school. International condemnation has been quick, but the Pakistani Taliban leaders say the attack was justified and vow more will come. Heather Sells has the latest.
The funerals have already begun for the dozens of children and their teachers who were killed. On Tuesday, 7 Taliban gunmen with explosives strapped to their bodies stormed the Army public school in the city of Peshawar.
They started shooting them indiscriminately, and after that they started spreading into other wings of the school where they were contained.
The school massacre marks the deadliest slaughter of innocents ever seen in Pakistan and has horrified a country where extremist attacks have become normal.
They killed kids. They are cowards.
The White House and countries around the world have been quick to condemn the attack.
The depraved decision that one has to make to storm a school of innocent children and open fire on them, I think is a testament to how cold-blooded these extremists are.
Across the country, officials and school children are holding special prayer services for the victims. This northwest corner of Pakistan has long endured violent clashes between the Taliban and Pakistani forces who are supported by the U.S. The Taliban said Wednesday that the massacre was justified because the Pakistani army has killed the children of its fighters, and it's vowing to continue such attacks. But the government of Pakistan says it will step up a military campaign that, along with U.S. drone strikes, targets the militants. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Australia's Prime Minister Tony Abbott is looking for answers. Today, he announced plans for a joint federal and state review of the deadly hostage situation in Sydney. The Prime Minister says the gunman responsible for the siege had been on the National Security Agency's watch list, but was dropped from it years ago. He wants to know why. Manharan Moniz took 17 people hostage Monday. 16 hours later, the siege ended. Moniz, along with 2 other hostages, were killed. A bill extending dozens of tax breaks is headed for President Obama's desk. The Senate approved $40 billion in temporary tax cuts for businesses and individuals through 2014. President Obama is expected to sign it. Tuesday, the president signed a $1.1 trillion spending bill into law that will keep most of the government running for the next 9 months, except for the Department of Homeland Security. Critics of the president's recent executive action on immigration limited funding for that department because it enforces immigration policy. Well, it looks like another Bush will seek the presidency. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush announced he's forming an exploratory committee on the 2016 race for the White House. Analysts say Bush has been taking steps towards a presidential run for months, and this recent announcement is a clear sign he's throwing his hat into the ring, and that his early announcement puts pressure on other potential candidates to declare their intentions. Jeb Bush would become the third in his family to run for president. It appears Russia's economy is doomed. That prediction comes as oil prices and the value of Russia's currency have been plunging. Now Russia is trying desperately to stop the bleeding. Some say it's all happening because Saudi Arabia is punishing Russia by playing a high-stakes game with oil prices. As George Thomas reports, it's a game with a global impact.
A barrel of oil is now below $60 for the first time since May 2009. Good news for Americans who are actually smiling as they fill up at the pump these days. But halfway around the world, for some of America's adversaries like Iran and Russia, plummeting oil prices has been hurting, and hurting bad. Both need oil prices to be above $100 a barrel to fund large parts of their economies. The result, Russia is imploding. The ruble is in a free fall, down 50% against the dollar. So to stop the bleeding, Russia's central bank made a dramatic move, raising interest rates from 10.5% to a whopping 17%. Adding to this, the bite of Western sanctions, and the Washington Post says Russia's economy is doomed. In Iran, it's a similar story. Oil is also their lifeline.
The Iranians, psychologically, their most valuable asset is depreciating in value.
The result, its currency dropped 6% against the dollar, and its economy is getting hammered.
If you're an Iranian policy planner and you're planning your budget, and you are pegging it at $120, and all of a sudden the price of oil is at 70, in the medium term, you've got some problem.
In the grand bazaars of Tehran, customers and businesses are feeling the pinch.
When the nuclear talks failed to lead to a deal, the exchange rates started to go up. In the last couple of days, I think the decline in oil prices contributed to the rise in exchange rates again.
Both countries in part blame Saudi Arabia for their economic mess. As the world's largest producer and exporter of oil, Saudi Arabia has refused to cut supply and drive prices up. But analysts say the Saudis have an ulterior motive in playing chicken with its oil. They want to punish Iran and Russia. Saudi Arabia and Iran are longtime rivals. The Saudis believe U.S. attempts to stop Iran's nuclear threat are going nowhere, so they are using their most effective weapon to do what Western sanctions couldn't. Iran's president called the Saudi move to keep oil prices low politically motivated. President Hassan Rouhani told members of his cabinet last week that Iran and the people of the region will not forget such conspiracies, or in other words, treachery against the interests of the Muslim world. Meanwhile, Saudi-Russian relations aren't that cozy either. Since the Syrian uprising started in 2011, the Saudis have wanted the Assad regime in Damascus to go, but blame the Russians for propping it. So while Americans enjoy their early Christmas present at the pumps, Russians and Iranians are seething, wondering how long prices will stay low before their economies potentially collapse. George Thomas, CBN News.
Hackers calling themselves Guardians of Peace are making some serious threats. The group is responsible for leaking emails and other sensitive documents from Sony Pictures. Now the hackers are saying they are planning an attack similar to 9/11 at the Sony Pictures premiere of the film The Interview. It is the first piece of a so-called Christmas gift from the group. The FBI and Department of Homeland Security are investigating. They say at this point the threats are not credible. California needs 11 trillion gallons of water to make up for its 3-year drought. That is according to NASA. The space agency measures the Earth's changing shape, surface, height, and gravity to measure the impact of droughts. California is getting pummeled with rain this year, but it's just scratching the surface of what's needed. NASA says the Sacramento and San Joaquin River basins are down 11 trillion gallons from normal levels. That's about 1.5 times more than the biggest reservoir in the United States. Well, unlike last Christmas, many Iraqi Christians say they're finding little to celebrate this year. Chased from their homes by Islamic State terrorists, many are still struggling. Few will celebrate the holiday season in their hometowns. CBN is on the scene trying to bring them comfort and encouragement. Gary Lane brings us the story from Kurdistan, Iraq.
Despite recent military gains against the Islamic State, hundreds of thousands of Iraqi Christians, ethnic Yazidis, and others are still residing in temporary shelters. They fled ISIS atrocities last summer. Many are now receiving food and clothing, but their needs are changing as winter sets in.
This last summer, when we were here in August and September, we were really looking at providing water. Mostly importantly was to keep people hydrated because it was hot, days of 120 degrees. The real big challenge is for having physical comfort. Our goal here is to provide ample winterization products.
So what better time than Christmas to come bearing gifts?
We are so happy to be here with you. We are Christians from the United States, and we have just come to show you God's love.
Not only are Iraqi Christians and Yazidis in desperate need of help this Christmas, but also Syrians, refugees from the city of Kobani. The women say their husbands are away in that city, fighting a life-and-death struggle against ISIS. These women recently arrived in Erbil with their children. This 24-year-old says her husband stayed behind in Kobani to fight the Islamic terrorists.
Please pray for him so as to come and join his family.
And to keep them warm, the Kobani families received carpets to cover cold and drafty floors. Their children were given gloves to warm their hands, heavy woolen blankets, and pillows. Each family was given a gas tank and heater, along with a portable cooking stove.
Thank you so very, very much. No one has done anything for us. You are the first.
Some displaced Iraqis told us they needed powdered milk and diapers for their children. So CBN provided those necessities in partnership with the Barzani Charitable Trust Foundation.
Just because the fighting is not presently close to this area doesn't mean that people aren't fighting for their lives. They're fighting for their lives for warmth, they're fighting for their lives with sustenance, they're fighting for their lives with medical needs on a daily basis. CBN is here for the long haul.
CBN is not just here to take care of the physical needs of these people, although that's very important. We're here to take care of the spiritual needs.
The Yazidis warmly welcomed CBN Disaster Relief Director Ron Oates.
They were willing to listen to us, our personal witnessing and our personal testimony, and we felt that they were open to listening to the gospel.
God loves you and wants a good future for you.
We want to foretell the Word of God and demonstrate in tangible ways how God can meet the needs of people.
CBN is meeting the material needs of thousands of beleaguered Iraqis and Syrians. But it's also bringing them the greatest gift this Christmas, the reason for the season. Word of a baby born in a manger, a loving Messiah who offers them eternal hope and life. Gary Lane, CBN News, Iraqi Kurdistan.
Coming up, controversy at a city council meeting in Florida. We'll show you why the mayor refused to be present for the opening prayer.
However dark the night, however dim our hopes, the light is always there within you.
His family gave him hope.
Come on, Louie!
His spirit gave him strength.
We're not dying!
And in his darkest hour,
you are nothing.
His courage will bring him home.
If Hadrock's sick, shoot it.
Unbroken, rated PG-13, Christmas Day.
In 2008, my husband Gary departed for heaven. I was still grieving. And then to find out I had cancer, I began praying, God, how do I do this? Where do I do this? Cancer Treatment Centers of America was the place. Dr. Neelam outlined a plan that would take care of my mind and my body, and she prayed with me.
For Bible-believing Christians, we're able to pray with them in a much deeper way as they begin to really rely upon their faith.
At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, we believe in the power of faith and prayer as indispensable allies in the fight against complex and advanced stage cancer.
I'm back in Telluride on the mountain skiing. I feel strong and healthy.
Advanced medicine and technology.
And I am a survivor.
The warm embrace of the Spirit and the power of prayer.
These are happy tears.
Please go to cancercenter.com/faith. Appointments available now. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Care that never quits.
You keep going the way you're going, you end up on the street. If you can take it, you can make it.
He was a rebel who became a champion. A soldier who became a survivor. On Christmas Day, experience the unbelievable true story
We're not dying!
of an American hero.
Who is the Olympic athlete?
And the courage
Don't look at me.
that will bring him home.
If I can take it, I can make it.
Unbroken, rated PG-13.
Hello? Is this thing on? Hey, kids, do you love games? And do you love discovering things? Well, do ya?
Then you're gonna love this. It's the new free Superbook Kids Bible app. You can play games, watch videos, find answers to your questions, and a whole lot more. The new Superbook Kids Bible app. Free downloads available on iTunes and Google Play now.
Christians and atheists are sharing billboard space in Arkansas. A billboard along Interstate 49 is flashing alternating ads by a church and an atheist group. The American Atheist ad shows a young girl writing Santa Claus that all she wants for the holidays is to miss church because she's too old for fairy tales. Well, that ad inspired a response by Grace Church in Alma, which raised money to pay for its own ad to appear seconds later on the same digital billboard. The church's ad reads, "Questions, doubts, curiosity, all welcome at Grace Church, Alma." A group of Florida city leaders walked out of a meeting in opposition to a controversial prayer. Take a look in this video. You can see the mayor of the city of Lake Worth and several commissioners walking out before atheist Preston Smith begins his prayer. It begins by addressing Mother Earth and then the righteousness of Allah with the all-knowing wisdom of Satan. He went on to invoke Zeus, Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, and Thor. After the video went public, a Satanist sent a letter to the same city council requesting permission to give a satanic prayer. Well, today, a first-hand account of what we've been reporting for years, that news organizations often show bias against Israel, and it happened during this summer's war with Hamas. A former reporter with the Associated Press is blowing the whistle. Chris Mitchell has the story now from Jerusalem.
During the summer of 2014, Israel and Hamas fought for 50 days. Reporters from all over the globe covered the fighting, often filling their stories with conflicting information and questionable reporting. After the war, former AP reporter Mati Friedman wrote an article called An Insider's Guide to the Most Important Story on Earth.
And I decided at the end of the summer to write an essay looking at what has gone wrong through the lens of my own experiences.
For 7 years, Friedman reported for the Associated Press, a giant news organization that provides information to many other media outlets around the world. He says the AP and the mainstream press suffer from two malfunctions. One, Israel gets too much coverage, and two, the press has taken sides.
The mainstream press corps here has largely adopted an advocacy role. They've decided to play a political role in the conflict. They've decided to lobby for the side that they think is right, and political decisions are disguised as journalistic decisions.
Friedman says Hamas took advantage of the bias.
The strategy is to terrorize Israeli civilians using rockets, provoke an Israeli response, put civilians in Gaza in between the Israelis and the Hamas fighters by storing rockets in civilian basements, in the basements of mosques, in schools, and we've seen all those things documented this summer, and then having the huge international media contingent in Gaza film the civilian casualties, not the armed men, and use those pictures to spark outrage against Israel abroad, and that will prevent Israel from acting to the full extent of its strength against Hamas. That's the strategy. I think any intelligent person can see it, and yet it's not covered like that.
But the Associated Press refuted Friedman's claim. It issued a statement that said in part, his arguments have been filled with distortions, half-truths, and inaccuracies, both about the recent Gaza war and more distant events. His suggestion of AP bias against Israel is false. The AP denies Friedman's claim that the AP and other media ignored or underreported Hamas firing from mosques, schools, and UN facilities. But Friedman says the world is getting a skewed version of what actually is happening.
The story is, if you read between the lines and if you read the lines themselves, the story is that Israel is faced with a clear moral choice and is making the wrong choice. Israel could have peace, but it chooses war. That story is false.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And still to come, teens are being brainwashed and lured away to wage jihad against America. We'll tell you where it's happening. Coming up next.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number or visit our website. A free idea kit and DVD will be sent to your home so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool right in your backyard or home. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number or visit the website to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now
very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-873-4421. 800-873-4421.
Which city is America's biggest hotbed for terrorists? If you're thinking New York City or Los Angeles, you'd be wrong. Think Middle America. Dozens of young men and women have left Minneapolis-St. Paul in recent years to join Islamic terrorist groups like ISIS. Eric Stakelback has more.
American men and women, all of them Somali Muslims hailing from Minnesota, and all of them carrying U.S. passports. Some have been suicide bombers. Others star in propaganda videos. Their exodus from the Twin Cities began in 2007 with a call to jihad in Somalia. Today, their destination is the Islamic State.
The problem in previous years for the Somali Muslim community here in Minneapolis was young men leaving mosques like this to travel back home and join the al-Qaeda-linked terror group Al-Shabaab. Now the problem has shifted, and it's much deeper.
Since July of 2012, we haven't had any kids leave to go join Al-Shabaab, but we have had several leave now to go join ISIS.
Bob Fletcher is the former sheriff of Ramsey County, which includes the city of St. Paul.
What ISIS is selling now is an opportunity to build something, to build a new society, and that's very, very exciting for a lot of kids.
At least 12 Twin Cities residents have traveled to Syria to join terrorist groups in recent years. All were Somalis, except Douglas McCain, an African-American convert killed fighting alongside ISIS last summer. One Somali-American ISIS recruit even worked at Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport before joining the Islamic State.
The recruiters get hold of these young people. They mentor them. They assess them. They identify them.
Abdurazak Bihi is director of the Somali Advocacy Center in Minneapolis. His teenage nephew fell prey to terrorist recruiters and was killed in Somalia in 2008.
Nobody would believe that a Somali American kid who grew up here had nothing to do with Somalia, no cultural or anything or language, would be brainwashed, radicalized by the same people, by some of the people we trusted so much, and return him to hellfire in Somalia.
Bihi has received threats for speaking out against the radicalization of his Somali Muslim community. He says he's fighting an uphill battle here as unemployed young people respond to the message of jihad.
We are trying with everything we can, but our challenges are plenty because we don't have the resources to work with. It's zero.
The Twin Cities are home to the largest Somali population in North America. Many of the more than 100,000 Somali residents came as part of a taxpayer-funded refugee resettlement program run by the U.S. government. Assimilation has been a major problem. A large number live in neighborhoods like Little Mogadishu.
This is a traditional East African market. It's the kind you'd see in Somalia, but it's here in the very heart of Minneapolis, and it shows the changing face and the growth of the Somali community here in the Twin Cities.
War-torn Somalia has had no functioning central government for nearly 25 years and has become a hotbed for radical Islam. Somali community activist Omar Jamal left behind that chaos only to confront a similar menace in the Twin Cities. He says terror recruiters are having success beyond just the high school dropout types.
The idea has always been ISIS and even Al-Shabaab target those kids. But we later came to find out that even A students in universities and colleges are also vulnerable to this powerful propaganda machine.
According to Jamal, radical Islamic ideology is a powerful recruitment tool for ISIS, and the Islamic State's success breeds attraction.
ISIS thus far succeeded in putting up an image where they are righting the wrongs and respecting the Muslim world bring respect back. And it's working for them.
Eric Stackelbeck, CBN News, Minneapolis.
Your dream bathroom is just a call away at Bath Planet. Our bath and shower systems have earned the Good Housekeeping seal and can be installed in as little as 1 day.
And we're very, very pleased with the job that they did in remodeling the bathrooms.
Very nice, like I said, very professional, and cleaned up after themselves, and the salesman was just great.
Our custom acrylic bath and shower designs are easy to clean with up-to-date colors and patterns. Ask about walk-in tubs with hydrotherapy. And now during our Dream Bathroom sale, you can have your new bath or shower installed for only $89. Ask about 12 months same as cash, senior and military discounts, plus call during this program and receive a free safety package, a $599 value at no additional charge, and a $25 restaurant.com gift card with your free in-home estimate. Call that number now.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-873-4421. 800-873-4421.
Superbook is touching the lives of people living in Costa Rica. It took place in downtown San Jose with the first ever Superbook flash mob dance and photo with Gizmo. CBN Superbook team also handed out more than 1,500 small gifts with candy and cards and a message of hope. The event also provided many opportunities to pray with people. Superbook Season 1 aired on the most popular TV channel in Costa Rica. So far, Superbook has been broadcast in 9 countries in Latin America. And finally this hour, a couple of Sacramento police officers are being applauded for helping a family in need. Saturday night, they saw a family of 5 standing outside in the cold and rain. When they got out to investigate the situation, they learned the family had fallen on hard times and had no place to sleep.
We just said, hey, would you guys be okay if we put you in a hotel room for the night?
These officers are amazing.
The officers paid for the family to stay in the hotel using their own money. They were then reimbursed through an initiative called Sarah's Program. It offers assistance for situations like this one. But the officers say reimbursement or not, they wanted to lend a helping hand. Well, that is going to do it for this hour of CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. Take the time to tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do it on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make it a wonderful Wednesday, everybody.
Inside every child is a hero, a leader, a friend to others, someone who helps out, who does the right thing, who dreams of what they can be, but they still need our help.
What should I do? What should I say? How should I feel?
That's where Superbook comes in. It provides moral and spiritual truths through situations children can relate to, teaching God's Word to the children you love. Join the Superbook DVD Club and receive Superbook's newest episodes as they're available, plus 2 copies to share with others, all for your gift of only $25. Get Superbook today and watch the miracles happen.
Every day, people are connecting on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Now you can be part of the conversation and connect on topics you care about through 700 Club Interactive. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, or go to YouTube and share your opinions, your prayer requests, and your videos while making friends in our community.
Well, welcome to the show.
Join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. 700 Club Interactive. Be a part of the show.